distance is 50,000 kilometers, starting in South America and ending back in the UK in July 2017. We have a year to cover 4 continents and about 37 countries. The purpose is to develop an art project. We're travelling by bike to have freedom of movement, and it allows for an immersive experience of journeying through the landscape. We will have no support vehicles, no cameramen and no big sponsors, but we will have a whole 18 months of riding experience between us.
The primary accommodation is a tent and allowance of 1 or 2 paid nights a week to do some laundry. The adventure author, Chris Scott, recommends 2 years of planning for a year-long trip. We did the planning in 8 months part-time. Wish us luck.
This episode covers Montevideo to Santiago. We had 4 days to cross Argentina and get to Mendoza, and after a short break in the famous wine region, only a day to cross the Andes to Santiago. This meant finding places to camp for 3 nights, our first camping of the journey. And being that it's winter in South America in July, it meant finding a place by sunset at 5:30 p.m. This became our routine, to start scouting for likely campsites before the light just fades to black.
Good morning, welcome to German Limitless, our first night camping on the Argentine soil.
Last night was hectic. We got here just in time to set up a good campsite. We got the tent up and running and we cooked our first meal. All night long, however, there were wild dogs barking outside the tent, so it made it very tricky to sleep. And now, as you can hear, there's a storm outside which is delaying our departure.
As you can see, it is quite wet in here, so it might delay us by a couple of hours.
As you can see, it's now 2 hours later. The rain shows no sign of stopping or decreasing. We're all packed up and ready to go. We're just waiting for a space in the rain to pack up the tent.
Sometimes we rely on the kindness of farmers to let us camp for the night on their land. This was Carlos and Christina's organic to-be farm in Rio Cuarto. It was a pretty frosty night and an equally chilly morning, but so worth it thanks to a beautiful dawn.
We said our goodbyes and set off for Mendoza, hoping for better weather. The roads were great quality, and after being straight for hundreds of kilometers, suddenly wound themselves through small foothills as we entered the Mendoza region. We'd been unlucky with the weather the previous 2 days, with both hard rain and strong winds on the eastern side of Argentina. Mendoza welcomed us with sunshine, a warm breeze, and some good wine and music.
Whilst in Mendoza City, we treated ourselves to an Airbnb. This allowed us to do much needed laundry and some bike maintenance. Before long, we were ready to tackle the crossing of the Andes.
Good morning, it's day 5 of our journey. Welcome to Mendoza.
We're just going to leave Mendoza now and cross the Andes. Apparently it's -5 at the crossing today. Right, so these are the mountains that we're going to have to cross. Down here it's 2 degrees, up there it's -10. And there's only a small risk of snow today.
Okay, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah,
We checked the Twitter feed for the frontier crossing before leaving, and its promise of sub-zero temperatures and requirements for snow chains made us a little uneasy. The road to Los Libertadores Pass was, however, beautiful and sunny.
Making our way towards the Andes, and this is the view. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? It's insane. It's like Lord of the Rings or something. It's just stunning. Made it. We're 6 kilometers away from the border between Argentina and Chile, and we've been riding straight for almost 4 hours. It was pretty tough. The roads are super windy through the mountains, and as you can see, it's covered in snow. The temperature is supposed to be about -3, but on the motorbikes it says 5 degrees. Anyway, we stopped for lunch because I get grumpy when I don't eat.
What's the altitude?
The altitude, we're about 3,000 meters high. I think that's why it's so cold. So, what do people eat at 3,000 meters high? Today's menu, we have a super delicious, everything we had left over in the fridge salad. So here's today's menu of the day. Consists of quinoa, tomato and bean. Delicious. Bon appetit.
This border crossing is pretty iconic, as it goes through a long tunnel known as the Tunnel of the Redeeming Christ. Before landing is straight onto the border, and famously heavy traffic waiting to cross.
We're in Chile. After amazing 3-hour ride on 3,500 meters, we finally arrived in Chile. What a country, what a views around us. The only downside was the customs and immigration and checking documents. We've had few border crossings before, from Uruguay to Argentina, from Argentina to Uruguay, etc. Now it's all piece of cake. Here they came with a brilliant idea of putting Argentinians and Chileans into one building. So we were sent from window 4 to window 3, from window 3 to window 2, from window 1 to the other side, from the other side, back to the other side, from the other side. Anyway, 2 hours later we are in Chile, and we're going to continue our ride in 2 degrees Celsius on the 31st of July in this magnificent country.
Brexit is still fresh in our minds on starting the journey. It's a subject close to our hearts as Europhiles. The border crossings and customs are also complex and lengthy. We realise with dismay what awaited Great Britain post-Brexit. Having collected our array of stamps this time, we descended the switchbacks on the Chilean side.
The route to Santiago means passing through a series of valleys, interconnected with tunnels. Bizarrely, the climate seemed to change from one valley to the next, with Mediterranean warmth in one to frosty mist in the other. The Andes were simply majestic and endless, and filled with the first horses we'd seen since Uruguay.
Winter days being short, we allowed ourselves occasional paid lunches as a treat. This normally resulted in empanadas, the ubiquitous snack of South America.
Hi everyone, so we've been filming and photographing all day and we skipped lunch, so we stopped by this roadside cafe for a snack. And the ubiquitous snack in South America seems to be empanada, which is just frankly amazing. I've fallen in love with this snack whilst I've been here. I've tried them extensively as part of a cultural project in Uruguay, Argentina, and now for the second time in Chile. So an empanada is like a round of pastry and any sort of filling inside, and then they deep fry them, or in this case I think they've been baked. So it's interesting to see how the way of cooking and the filling differs in each country. In Uruguay they deep fry them and they're much smaller, and they can be all sorts of flavors, and the fillings seem to be a bit more complicated. They can be savory or sweet. When they're sweet they tend to be dulce de leche based. For those of you who aren't instructed in the ways of dulce de leche, let me inform you. It's basically like condensed milk that's been cooked for a long time. I don't know if you've ever had a caramel in millionaire shortbreads or in banoffee pies. It's very present in English dessert making because it's delicious, frankly. So today what do we have? Today we have jamón con queso, pollo con queso, and a napolitana, which is cheese, tomato and some oregano. So which one should we start with? I'm so excited. I'm so hungry. Simon doesn't feed me. Okay, so pollo con queso. I'm just going to open it up so you can see how delicious it is. These are really hot, by the way. Oh, it's so cheesy. Oh my god, so exciting. Sorry, this is not going to be very glamorous.